So that was a short and lovely video of Adrish. Good morning, and welcome to another Knowledge Wednesday session. My name is Soma, and I am a part of Team Destination Knowledge Center. Today is World Health Day, and the theme for 2021 is Building a Fairer, Healthier World. COVID-19 has hit the world, but it has also brought the importance of physical and mental fitness to the forefront of people's consciousness. People have started working out and eating healthy to boost their immunity. And DKC has been calling on leaders to ensure that everyone has living and working conditions that are conducive to good health. Today we have with us Akshay Agarwal, the young leader who has always been passionate about creating a positive impact on the lives of the people. And this led to rise of Satvik, the health restore. Akshay grew up wanting to save the environment for the greater good. He is the co-founder of Adrish, India's first zero-waste lifestyle store chain, and a qualified chartered accountant. His ability to stand out from crowd and create a differentiating factor is a big positive to the organization. He is also fond of financial market analysis and has cleared all the 3 levels of chartered financial analyst examination. Welcome, Akshay.
Hello, Soma. Morning, everyone.
Welcome to the session, Akshay.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. And so we're good to start?
Yes. So to begin with, please tell us the story behind Adrish and how is it related to Satvik?
As you've mentioned in the introduction, I was working in a financial service company back in 2015 in Mumbai, wherein always there was an inner requirement of I wanted to do something towards the social entrepreneurship concept. And I was fortunate enough to attend a festival in Kolhapur. My hometown is Kolhapur, under the name of Bharatiya Sanskruti Utsav. It was in 2015. Wherein we recognized or we realized that today what we are eating today is not food but something like food, and we found a value gap, you can say, in the organic food system in the country or the global scenario as a whole. And the concept of Satvik was born in 2015 end, and we started our first store of Satvik the Health Restore in Kolhapur in February 2016. And from there, we started with a handful of farmers, around 40 farmers and 80 to 90 products in our portfolio. And then we slowly increased it to more than 8,000 plus farmers today and more than 500 plus products in our portfolio. This was sometime in 2018, wherein we were getting a lot of surveys done as far as consumer needs or consumer questions as far as organic lifestyle is concerned. And wherein we found a very important suggestion from a lot of our prospective clients as well as present customers that can we be sustainable as far as packaging material provisions are there when you're selling organic food as the industry as a whole. And that's where the initiative of Adrish was born. And Adrish we started the first store of Adrish Zerowaste in September 2018 in Pune in Koregaon Park as a pilot project. So Adrish is all about getting good food to people along with other ancillary products which complement the healthy lifestyle, which includes your organic food, of course, organic fruits, veggies, groceries. Along with that, we have a range of organic lifestyle complementary products such as kitchenware solutions, cleaning solutions. Then there are certain personal care products which include hair care, oral care, and even cosmetics. And along with that particular range, we are also working on providing a range of organic clothing to our consumers, which can keep the environment as well as our body healthy. So this is how the Adrish initiative was born. And the details of Adrish initiative, of course, will be discussed in the slides to come.
Right. So please tell us about your team, who all are there.
Okay. So, like this is myself, Akshay, which you already put up in the introduction, and I have my co-founder Gajendra Chaudhary. He's also he is of course was into textile business, and he has a connect with organic farming back in his hometown in Rajasthan, wherein more than around 80 to 100 acres of organic farming practices are followed by his uncle. So he joined me as a co-founder of Satvik, and that's we took it forward for Adrish as well. And then there is an amazing team of women in the front end who takes care of our stores, majorly women for that matter. And we have, so this is not in the slides. So there is an interior designer, Mrs. Sabita Agarwal, takes care of our Pune stores. So she handles 3 of our stores in Pune. There's a who was earlier into broking and leasing. Amazing lady Pallavi takes care of a store in Bombay. And recently, we have two of another ladies again. One is a doctor who is taking care of a store in Gurgaon. Her name is Manisha Nandal. And there's another Suchitra ji who has started our store in Hyderabad very recently. She is into baking. So an amazing team of ladies along with some passionate people at the back end who takes care of our day-to-day activities. We are more than thankful for such an amazing team to take this initiative to the next level.
All right. So we are going to touch upon the products and the various outlets that you have later.
Okay.
So what was the reason behind naming your venture Adrish? How does it associate with the products the brand offers?
Okay. So as you can see in the screen, Adrish means the Lord of the Mountains. And when it comes to giving, when it comes to an initiative wherein we want entire product range to be given in a waste-free or a package-free manner, the thought process was it is connected, it is inherently connected to the nature as much as possible. And when it comes to the entire mountains, or when it comes to the lifestyle which comes along with it, mountains are something which are serenely and inherently connected to nature, and that's where the name Adrish came from. Another meaning of Adrish in Sanskrit is invisible. So it is invisible in the sense that invisibility of waste or invisibility of harmful practices when it comes to farming. And that's where the name has been derived from. And we named the initiative as Adrish Zerowaste.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
Now that we know the story of Adrish, let's talk about your products.
Okay, so I will just give you a brief background about Satvik initially. It will take a bit more of time. So when we started Satvik way back in 2016, the main focus was getting good food to people. So I have been telling about this in the past as well. Like this is from my experiences when we were about to start this initiative of Satvik. So we met a handful of farmers in our nearby area of Kolhapur. So this example will be something which will be eye opener for a lot of people today who are participating here. So this gentleman who was farming some like vegetables, especially rich gourd or bottle gourd and brinjal. So we were visiting his farm, and one fine question was asked by some like me as well as my colleague who were visiting the farm that day, was like, "Bhaiya, ye aapka jo khet hai, like this brinjal and this 2 lines have gone bad. There were some last 2 lines in the farm which were not at all looking good. They were looking very smaller. For example, brinjals were very smaller in size. Rich goats, thoda daba, like they were all again the size was small, not looking fresh, and all these things. But the answer which came from that particular for that particular question was really an eye opener for us. He mentioned कि भाई अक्षय जी ये 2 ही line इस खेत में अच्छी है. This only these 2 lines are fit for eating. The rest of the things will go into the market, because people
Yeah.
today want to buy only those products which are looking, I mean, which looks which look bigger in size, which have no spots on it, on that particular product. It should not be damaged from anywhere, kahin se dawa nahi hona chahiye, and things like that. And even and based on that, traders only accept those kind of produce. So for this particular requirement, we have to use heavy chemicals and heavy pesticides and make sure that it is sold in the market at the right price. So that kind of, so basically today we are eating first by our eyes, and then we are eating then actually by our mouth. So उसने मराठी में हमें बोला था, पहिला तुम्ही डोळ्याने खाता आणि नंतर तोंडाने खाता. So that kind of instances have been observed by us, and then that's where we ventured into this initiative, wherein we wanted to get the best quality produce to our consumers and in the best possible way. So Satvik started with around 80 to 100 products, and then the USPs of that products is something which is very important for the consumer, or for the readers, or for the participants to know. So the USP here is, for example, we only focus on organic food first thing. Secondly, when you are cultivating organic food, you should use the right seed in cultivation of organic farming. So if you are not using the right seed, you're using something which is genetically modified, you're using something which is hybrid in nature, that will not give you, or that will not roll out the right nutrition in food. So we make sure that the entire seed bank which is used by the farmers are all like indigenous seeds or native seeds. That is one thing. Now you are harvesting a particular crop, say for example wheat, and then you are crushing it at a very high speed in a flour mill, maybe 3000 rpm, and then you sell wheat flour which is organic, certified by this agencies, well packed and into the market shelf at an attractive price. But then when you are getting it organically produced, but you're milling it at 3000 rpm, what kind of nutrition will that flour carry when you're actually eating it? So that thing. So that in that scenario, you should make sure that the food which you're eating is slow processed. Or unprocessed food, of course, is something which is advisable for certain of the categories, especially when you're eating raw salads, or a lot of nutritionists recommend you that. But when you're processing food at a high speed, when you're extracting oil using some chemicals and some certain of the harmful ingredients, will that organic seed used right will make any difference to the end consumer? So that is something which you have to evaluate on your own. So this is one thing. And now at Satvik or at Adrish, we make sure that the seed is right. It's processed using the slow food techniques. We are also a member of Slow Food International Italy. This is for the example. And then when it, so again, now the food is processed right, and then it is packed and sold in the market, or it is sold loose for that matter in the Adrish initiative, and then you get it on your plate. So this value chain system, or this process, is very important when you buy organic products as a consumer. You should know where your food is coming from. We
Yes.
invite all of our consumers to our farm here in Kolhapur, which is a model farm. Our food products come from 14 states in that country. But for visiting the farm, they can visit our model farm in Kolhapur, understand how organic farming is done, and then choose your farmer. So now this was the base of how our products are chosen when it comes to organic food product range in Adrish. So that's one thing. So there is a range of more than 550 plus organic products at Adrish. If you can just go back at the previous slide, the entire range is mentioned over there. So a range of more than 550 plus products, which includes fresh produce, groceries, cosmetics, kitchenware, and clothing, which we just mentioned. So now, what exactly made us include products like kitchenware or products like cosmetics in our product portfolio in the Adrish Zerowaste? So again, coming back to the point, you're getting the seeds which are indigenous, processed it slow, but then you cook it using aluminum containers. So there is a report which says that more than 80 to 85% of the nutrition is lost when you cook it in aluminum. when your food cooking should also be slow. You should cook it in earthenware in a low flame for the entire nutrition, or at least 90% or 93% to be exact, of that nutrition to be intact. So that's the reason we want the consumers to be aware and experience the best in class kitchenware solutions, which you can adapt when you are keen to follow a completely organic lifestyle approach to living. So that's where these categories come in. We have a range of cosmetics and household. So basically call it personal care, wherein we have hair care, which is made like there are certain amazing powders which are manufactured by our women self-help groups in certain mountain regions, especially Himachal and Uttarakhand, wherein these products are again slow hand pounded, and the seeds or the Ayurvedic herbs are grown the organic way. So when you use this Bringraj powder, or when you use this Brahmi extract, or when you use the wood pressed virgin coconut oil based hair oil, that will have an amazing impact, a positive impact on your hair growth, reduce the hair fall and things like that. So it's not just about like using some branded or chemical oriented shampoos or stuff like that, which can damage your hair over a period of time. But you should be as natural as you can. Again, going back to the inherent or the serenity which we can associate with the nature, and that is the ethos at Adrish. So there is a range of hair care solutions. Then there is a range of certain amazing cosmetics which are prepared with salt base and essential oils used in it, and virgin coconut oil as a base to manufacture those soaps and shampoos. So when you bath with, so we visited a farm recently in Kerala, where we saw that the family of that particular farmer is using virgin coconut oil as a soap instead of a soap itself. So that's where we realized that virgin coconut oil will rejuvenate your skin in the first place, and the soaps which are made out of virgin coconut oil and salt base, and then there are some probiotic cultures which are used in it, that will be good for the nature as well. So such kind of range of products are included as a part of Adrish, and you can find the entire product range on our website or any of our stores whenever you visit the site. So,
Right.
and then, so this is how, what this was about the product range, Soma. So again, so why Adrish Zero Waste? The slide which talks about the purpose of the stores. So which has already been discussed, and why Adrish is like, what are the USPs of Adrish? Majority of this have been discussed in the talk which we have had. Like, we are using indigenous seeds, slow process practices, and then they are prepared by women self-help groups, wherein these women self-help groups, if not for involved in the activities of contributing to product manufacturing at Adrish, we have seen that they would go down to some nearby town for some blue collar job like dishwashing at a very meager pay. So we feel proud that we are associated, and we like, God has given us this opportunity to get them some sustainable livelihood at the rural level itself. Even the farmers and producers associated with our initiative, Adresh, we make sure that at least like 50 to 55%, 60% of the end consumer rupee ratio is given to the farmers at the farm. So that makes them motivated to use this ancient traditional practices. That makes them motivated to keep the organic, converting to organic farming becomes easier for them, because that everything comes with a cost. So again, the another USP of Adrish is affordable organic produce. And thanks to our amazing mentors associated with us, I like to specifically mention an organization which is in point 5 as well. Kaneri Mutt Kolhapur, or Siddhagiri Gurukul Foundation in Kolhapur, which helps us connect to the best organic farmers in the country, and get this produce procured in the most sustainable way we can. So that makes us get pay the fair price to the farmers. And as there are no or very limited middlemen in the supply chain, and even there is like a very limited number of value system points like franchisees or distributors. We have just have it directly from the franchisee to the consumer or company to the consumer. So that makes us price that produce at a very fair price. So it's not very costly for the consumers, as well as the farmers are getting paid fair. So that makes us stand apart when it comes to procurement of organic food, and we thank Canary Mart Kolhapur for this. Like old good slow food, this is something which we have discussed regarding. We make sure that the slow processing, the food is processed in a slow way. Non-hybrid seeds are used, and certain examples are wood pressing of oil by rural youth in their area itself. For example, our coconut oil comes from certain areas of Karnataka, or Konkan as well, for that matter. And then I'll give an example of groundnut oil. So groundnut oil, the seeds which we are using in extraction of groundnut oil are called as Gungru Shengdane. So this comes from certain parts of Maharashtra and certain parts of Karnataka, which are very native and dark pink in color, the seeds. And these seeds were earlier used to extract oil. Today they are used in a very limited scale, because the yield of that particular seed is lower as compared to the hybrid counterparts available. But nutrition wise, 2x or at least 2.2x. So we make sure that we use the right seed, and it is crushed using wood pressing technology, wherein earlier people used to extract oil by using bullock carts or bulls for that this thing. But now bulls are replaced by motors, but at the same speed as it would have been extracted by a bull. So that slow process is very important to retain the nutrition or the saturated fats and things like that in the oil. And when this is all first pressed, so we do not press that oil 2 times or 3 times to extract more oil out of it. So this increases the nutrition, the thickness of that oil. And if you're consuming 5 liters of oil per month as a family of some other brand available in the market, this oil being the first press oil and very thicker in texture, you just will require around 2.5 to 3 liters of oil. So this is how you can also, we'll discuss about the budgeting part of organic food later. This is one of the points which I'd like to mention. So
Yes.
another
So,
USP.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
About the network of organic farmers, which we have already discussed. This is because of the ashram. Yeah. Yes, so we can have the next question.
Right. So my next question was that there is a general assumption that organic and sustainable foods are high priced, and how do you, how do your products compare in price to their more commercial counterparts? So I think you have already answered that.
Yeah, so this is one of the most, so a part of it is already answered. So, but one of the most, this is one of the most common questions when the consumers are planning a shift from conventional food to organic food. So, how much extra should I pay for it? Or what percentage will my organic food be costlier from the regular food which I am buying today in the market? So first thing, like I would suggest, like this is my opinion in person, like one should compare apple to apple. So organic food, of course, comes with a bunch of healthy benefits associated with it.
Yeah.
There are tangible benefits. So what are those tangible benefits? Your family's health will be taken care of. Your health will be taken care of. You'll be energetic all day, and you'll like laziness will slowly, you'll feel that you're feeling less lazy. A lot of such health benefits associated with it. So we should factor in that health benefits which we are going to consume, which we are going to get when we are consuming organic food, somewhere in the pricing as well. The other way around, we have to factor in the cost of health associated with consuming food which is laden with pesticides and heavy chemicals. So when I'm not asking an actuary, you hire an actuary to do this, but of course, on a thumb rule, the cost associated with health over a period will of course be higher than you spending a certain extra buck today to buy organic food. Again, one of the most important things which I observe, or as a team we observe when we are running organic stores, is people compare, like today the spinach which the market is selling is 10 rupees and you're selling it for 20 rupees. Oh my God, that's 100 rupees, 100% rice. But then when you compare it, so is that comparison valid? Is that apple to apple comparison? It should not. It's not, of course, because it comes. Heavy pesticides will give more yield. Using organic practices will have a lot of efforts. It will have a lot of attacks from the pests, and you need to cater to all, and that increases the price of the final produce. And then farmers also have to be paid, because otherwise they will not be motivated to consume organic, to manufacture or produce organic products, and they will do it only for their family, as we discussed in the last example. So all these things put together, you should compare it on the total expenditure which you are going to make extra, and the total over the total income. So when you do that, it will hardly matter, because it will hardly be 3 to 4% extra on the total income when you consider a middle class or an upper middle class family, or a lower middle class family for that matter. So this is how you should take the question of whether shifting to organic food is costly. You should ask, like, why this oil is so cheap, rather than asking why the organic oil is so costly. So the problem is, we are consider the price of conventional food as a fair price, and then compare it accordingly. So which should not be the case. I hope this will answer the question.
Yes, there are health benefits too, and you are saving on the health expenditures, right? Uh, So you have talked about your products. I can see that you have a range of natural cleaning products also that you have mentioned. Can you tell us more about these? How effective are these with regards to disinfecting and sanitization as required in current times?
Okay. Of course, today being World Health Day, and as we discussed in the start as well, sanitation as well as cleaning plays a very important role in the 21st century. Even when it comes to cleaning essentials, so I'll just give you an idea as to what sort of cleaning essentials are a part of our product portfolio. So we have a range of organic cleaning solutions, such as laundry liquids, floor cleaners, toilet cleaners, and then there are some certain dishwash powder and laundry powder detergent and things like that. So even detergent bar for that matter. So these products are prepared using all the natural materials, mainly the materials like soap nuts, shikakai, and bioenzymes extracts are used to prepare these liquids and cleaners. And so now it's all about the perception when it comes to answer this question. So clothes are meant to be clean, or they are meant to be extra white, as shown in the ads today. So you need to think on this particular thing. So if you are using a khadi kurta, and then if that particular cloth or that particular product is well sanitized by using cleaning solutions,
Yeah.
is it sufficient for you? Or you would like to use certain chemical based cleaning solution, which will of course uh, make that cloth whiter. Maybe it will look like you're buying, as you've seen in the TV ads. So, but will that actually make your that piece of cloth clean? Is a very important question. Generally, chemical based cleaning solutions like are very harmful for our clothes as well. And then there are certain chemical based solutions which are again provided to make sure that the harm which is caused by the detergent is again made, you can undo the harm. But is it all a marketing gimmick is something which one needs to understand. And people used to wash their clothes by, like, earlier, when you see certain serials, old like in the 1980s or 1990s, there are certain scenes wherein people used to wash clothes along the river bank by using a piece of Rita soap nut. So
Exactly.
that of course made your cloth a bit reddish in color, a bit like it used to change the color, but that used to clean the cloth, or clean that particular piece of cotton we used to wear earlier. And the waste water was then contributing to the improvement of the water particles in the river body, so that actually made the water more clean. So that entire system was connected, so we took care of the environment, we took care of our needs as well. But today when you add you just do an experiment, when you add that wastewater to a plant or wastewater to a river body and get it tested, you will see how harmful or how dangerous it can be for that particular living organism or the plant which we discussed in the example. So that thing has to be considered. And so of course, so now there have been a lot of development, so the color stains will not be there, but the cloth will not be that whiter as shown in the TV commercial, but your cloth will be clean. So I hope that answers this question. So
Yes, you have put it correctly. It's all about perception, right? So there is always a challenge when you try to do something out of box. How hard was it to convince farmers to start organic farming and other team members to join you?
of course, when it comes to converting farmers from conventional to organic and asking them to do organic practices for 3 continuous years, and then you will be called, you can sell that produce at certified organic produce. Initially, we faced a lot of hurdles in doing things like that. So I'll give you I love giving examples. So I'll just give you an example. We were visiting a farmer in Lucknow, some village in Lucknow, wherein
Mhm.
we were convincing a farmer to convert a group of farmers to convert themselves to organic food practices or from conventional food. So I remember this incident. Like even if the farmer is convinced to, okay, he understands that his land will be his agricultural land will improve in quality, in fertility over a period of time, and he has to spend at least 1.5 to 2 years to see the results flowing in. The farmer is convinced, but then in the evening we went to his home and he said, I cannot do that. His wife calls him a fool, his relatives call him a fool. Ye pagal jaise kya kar raha hai? What are you doing? So it all starts from the people are, even if somebody is trying to convert himself to organic farming, the circle or the relatives around will not allow him to do so. So it's all started from there. From there, we did one thing, like we offered them certifications to be done by on our own, on the company's expense. We provided them like natural fertilizers to be used for making that farm organic for the first 2 years, and that's how. And then seeds, of course. So we every Mahashivratri, we distribute certain seeds free of cost to the farmers at the ashram in Kolhapur. So all these activities need to be taken care of. We arrange certain visits of the good farmers, which we saw that they can do actually good organic farming practice, to certain of the organic farming training sessions. In the initial days, like for the first 2 to 3 years, we conducted organic farming workshops like once in every 2 months. So all these things have to be done at the cost of the company, and make sure that these farmers are paid fair price even for the initial 2 years of them being converted to from conventional to organic, and still we cannot sell that produce as organic farm. So organic farm produce, there's a rule which takes which says that you should be able to sell that product as certified organic only after 3 years from the first day that farm is like applied for certification practice. So all these things, of course, were challenge. But then this was for the initial days. We have to face this, and over a period, when the farmers started seeing the other farmers started seeing the change in the income generation of the farmers which have converted themselves organic over the next 3-4 years, a lot of new farmers started associating with us. Ki hame bhi karna hai, we have to join your group and things like that. So that initial activities, of course, were a bit took a toll on financials as well. But then later on, it all streamlined, and we also, with the help of our amazing mentors, we were able to overcome that challenge in this particular fashion. And then today, as the scheme talks about more than 8,000 plus farmers all across the nation to be exact around like 14 to 18 states the produce comes from. And this women involved in SSG activities. So when you are talking about sustainability, when you are talking about organic food, it should be sustainable. So there is a question which I think will be coming later. So we should we make sure that the slow processing activities are all carried out by women, and that helps them generate some sustainable livelihood practices. So this is something which is taken care of at the company level. So yeah, and again when it comes to activities like cleaning, grading, processing, even at our warehousing facility, all these activities are majorly like 80% of them are women. And we actually are very fortunate to have some amazing, as we discussed, amazing people in the team. So that's how it is.
Right.
And I'll
So I was
one more thing.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so there was something which is ancient Indian wisdom, strong connect. So the rest of the things are fine. The strong connect with ancient Indian wisdom is very important, and you should see that the practices which are followed at the back end are all in link with what our ancestors used to follow, and not because just they used to follow, because they have a particular reason. Our economy was one of the top most contributors to the world GDP till 1700s. So why did why we were this why we were the world leaders in that particular time? So there is a particular reason associated with their thought processes, thought practices, and we should have that strong connect with ancient Indians. Yeah. Sorry.
Right. So that was my next question, that I was going through your website and it mentions that Adrish takes you back to basics. So
Right.
What is the concept of back to basics, and how
Again,
does the system of your shop works?
Yeah. So the model is fairly simple. We have a range of more than like 550 plus organic products at the store, along with certain other categories which we have already discussed. And the consumers are expected to bring in their own containers. I think it's on the next slide as well. So the model works in a fashion like this is how it works. So you need to bring your own containers. If you forget to bring in, which we don't advise, so you can grab one from us on rent, or we can give the products to you in a paper bag. So you can weigh it, fill it, and so this is very simple. You bring in your own containers, fill as much as you want, and then you can just label it and use the things in it. The reason behind this is, for example, you go to a supermarket to buy say 100 grams of coriander powder, and the supermarket stocks 500 grams of coriander powder. So but you need it urgently. You say like, how much difference will it make? And you pick up that 500 grams of coriander powder and take it home. You use the 100 gram, 400 gram remains as it is. It will spoil over a period of time, and then you're wasting money, you're wasting resources. And that's the beauty of the zero waste model, so that you do not waste anything. You can buy 10 grams of it, you can buy 10 kilos of it. You did not buy it in a plastic package which is kept on the shelf. You can bring in your own containers to buy out. You do not want the packaging which comes with it. You want the product inside. Packaging is just something which makes convenient for you to carry products at your place. And then so that's how it is. If you bring your own containers, you save on the packaging part. It is of course pocket friendly as well, because you're saving some bucks because of unpackaged material being sold, and it is good for the environment. No plastic generation in itself. When 33% of the total plastic pollution, the plastic consumption today comes from groceries of household needs. And if we say like how we can like reduce how we can recycle this waste, and this waste is not being recycled, we have a lot of such questions. What if we question, like, we cut out that waste in the first place itself? There is no waste, there is zero waste. Of course that's not possible to the entire extent, but we can be imperfectly perfect. Like if we try to do that at individual level, every one of us, will create a great impact as far as our environmental plastic pollution or waste management systems are concerned.
Yeah.
And it will be a win-win for every one of us. So this is how the system works. And there was a slide of 5 R's which was shown recently. Like this is the 5 R's of zero waste, which talks about refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. So this is the zero waste philosophy preached by a lady, Mrs. Bia Johnson from America. So she talks about if we can refuse things, then you need to refuse it. So this is in that particular order. If you cannot refuse it, you reduce it, then reuse, recycle, and rot. So if you follow this philosophy even in an imperfect way, for example, if you can use a steel straw, so you are refusing a plastic straw and you are reusing it again and again. So that fits into the philosophy of zero waste. If you cannot do anything but you have to use plastic for some or the other reason, then you have to use the plastic which can be recycled. But
Yes.
today we are just focusing on recycling. We are not focusing on the above 3 R's which are mentioned. So that is very important when you are talking about zero waste. And again, this will help. This concept is very interlinked to minimalism, and minimalism is very much interlinked to the peace of mind. So less of clutter at home will be very peaceful for you, and that's another tangible benefit which you can associate with following a zero waste lifestyle approach. So this is about the zero waste model at Adrish. So you can bring in your own containers and shop. If you cannot bring in, you can take it on rent from us and then give it back to us next time for a cashback. So this is certain photographs of oils and things like that which you can buy and use from us. So yeah, so
Yeah. So my next question, you have somewhat answered it already. So we generally buy products that have attractive packaging. Why do you think people will buy loose? So you told us that we can reduce waste and buy as much as we require.
saves a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So do you hold special promotions to educate people about the real value of alternative eco-friendly products?
Of course. So when it comes to holding, rather than calling it promotions, we call it awareness campaigns, because zero waste or organic industry as such in India is in its initial stages. It's a very niche market. So people today, the day we started in Kolhapur, people were not even people were confusing Ayurvedic products with organic products. So that's where it all started from. So of course, a lot of organic awareness has been made recently because of the pandemic situation all across the globe. People are switching to healthy food options, but then people need to know as to what is the right food you need to consume in, and why zero waste lifestyle is important. So even today we have a session on things like that, which definitely the participants can participate in that session, wherein we are talking about the lifestyle solutions and alternative lifestyle approaches to living a healthy lifestyle. And we also are a part of certain, we also hold on certain markets. We also participate in a lot of events which talk about these things, and we would love to participate, or we would love to present ourselves to create the awareness as to why going zero waste, and on the top of it, why adopting an organic lifestyle is important in today's times.
Right. So tell us about your outlets. Are you planning to expand internationally?
Yeah. So, this is the store presence. Presently, we have 10 stores for Adrish. We're in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Gurgaon, and Hyderabad, and we are recently opening a few more, in the northern part of India, especially in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, and certain stores coming down south as well. In Bangalore, we'll see a store soon. We are working on it. So, and when it comes to international expansions, We are in talks with certain exquisite location-based promoters or certain people from Japan and US especially, wherein they they actually are following the zero waste lifestyle approach and have been excited to take the Indian wisdom in a zero waste way, which as a brand Adrish is doing. So soon we can see certain expansions internationally as well, especially in US and Japan. So this is how it is.
Right. So you also have an online portal. Can you tell us
Right.
more about the, so how do you deliver your products? Can you tell us
Yeah.
more about the
So
plastic and shipping?
surely. So when it comes to our website adrish.co.in, we have a shipping policy which is on your screen, wherein we make sure that we are not using any sort of plastic material or non-recyclable material other than plastic as well, which comes into the packaging. So of course there are certain there were certain challenges initially as to how we can ship without using plastic material. The first thing is plastic tapes. So tapes will come, like tapes today which are sturdy will be in plastic. There are certain glue based tapes or paper tapes which are not that sturdy, or which will make sure, which will not make sure that the parcel is reaching intact. But then there have been certain options which there are other paper tape options which have been evaluated, and we have done very well by using those tapes. The parcel is reaching safely. And there are certain fragile items which we are packaging it by using not bubble wraps but cardboard wraps. So cardboard wraps are 100% compostable, and these cardboards are mainly like we are reusing the cardboard boxes which we are getting it from our suppliers, if they are all hygienic and they are sturdy. So all these things put together, the supplier boxes are reused. We are sending the materials without any plastic packaging. The consumer is getting of course he will get certain packaging material along with the product, but that is something which cannot be avoided. And we encourage our consumers, if he can use that as a part of composting activities at his place, the packaging stuff. So this is how a zero waste packaging can be designed according to us, and we are also continuously on it to see how we can improve on this front going ahead as well.
So do you have a return policy also?
Return policy, yes. If there are certain problems with the product, first thing, if actually the consumer is actually received a product which is incorrect, for example, if the packaging, if he asks for a particular rose water and he is getting tulsi herb, so and he wants to return it. So first of all, if generally that does not happen, if the product is damaged in transportation, so that's one thing. So damaged products cannot be returned; it will be replaced. But if he is not satisfied with the product and there is genuine, that's a genuine reason, we arrange for a return pickup, and we ask the consumers to reuse the materials in which the boxes were, in which the order was delivered, and either the amount is refunded to the consumer or he is shipped a fresh replacement of the product. So, but we make it a habit to request the consumers if that using that product is possible to the maximum possible extent. And we are very like we've seen that the consumers are very supportive when it comes to our requests as well, because they appreciate the back end work which is going on here. So all these things put together, it has to be a both way approach, and then we can make it a great solution even at the e-commerce level as well.
Yeah. So this is interesting. I can't stop myself from asking this question. So they say charity begins at home, and you have started very young. How true is it in your case? Are you also living a minimalistic life and adopting zero waste policy at home?
Of course, a lot of people ask me this question, and of course, I try to be minimalistic as much as I can. Of course, I say like everybody cannot be 100% perfect, I try to carry my own water bottle to places I travel. I have a very limited wardrobe for that matter, where I request the participants to read the book Zero Waste Home, which I've gone through, to understand what exactly a zero waste lifestyle is all about. But then there are certain products which of course come in plastic or packaging or waste things, so that either needs to be recycled, or before that I consider whether I can reuse them. And there was also a video interview which was conducted by one of the leading newspapers to publish about Adrish, and this team visited my home personally to check our things at my home as well. So my it took time initially for my family to make understand as to why this lifestyle is very important. But slowly and steadily the changes took place. The kitchen, of course, is almost 75 to 80% without any plastic dabbas. Of course, a 10-20% chance which will of course be there. Glass bottles break. Earlier there was a halabula. Now they're used to it, so we get a new glass bottle and refill things like that. So of course you need family support is also important when you follow zero waste lifestyle. And initially we feel like it's all inconvenience and it is very difficult to follow things like that. It is not as such. You need to have your own ways in which you can do it in a very convenient way, and it is good for you and good for the environment as a whole as well.
Right. So this is my last question to you. How can we as travel partners help in promoting sustainable initiatives like Adrish?
One thing, Soma, like the last question which you asked me was whether you're following this lifestyle. So one of the major challenges which I face, or one of the major issues which I face when I follow this lifestyle, is when I travel. And I travel quite a bit to meet farmers and businesses prospects and all. So for example, when I'm traveling and I'm out of my water, so and I'm traveling by train, for example, so I cannot just get down and fill this water bottle at any particular station. And because you never know the hygiene factor behind it. So then that is where we have to go ahead and pick up a packaged water bottle. So that's where a zero waste lifestyle cannot be followed. Even like when we travel and have food inside a plane or even in a railway, so that comes with a lot of plastic material in it. Exactly. So as travel partners, if you can like as an industry as a whole, or as the partners as far as traveling is concerned, if you can see as to how we can minimize, if not completely eliminate, the use of plastic while traveling, it will create a very good impact when it comes to reducing the waste generation in itself.
Exactly. We are actually working on it. So thank you, Akshay, for being with us and talking about this great initiative. I now open the floor for the audience to ask the questions. I think we already have 2 questions from Syed Junaid. You are also making organic cosmetics. Does it really require any sort of quality ISI check by the government authorities before delivering it to the shops?
When it comes to Mr. Ahmed, thanks for the question. When it comes to organic cosmetics, so there are certain cosmetic guidelines which have been put in place by certain organizations, especially EcoCert, and even there are certain organizations from Europe which have standards in place, which are not yet notified under the Indian organic standards. But we make sure that our cosmetics are manufactured as per those standards. And when it comes to checks, there are certain testings which needs to be done. There are certain reporting which needs to be done under those standards to certain authorities before we get those products in our portfolio. So I hope this answers the question.
Yeah. And his next question is, does these products are also available on Amazon or Flipkart?
No. So presently we are having our own website and we're selling our products to our own website. In the near future, we are in talks with Amazon to see if we can get these products fulfilled from the Amazon fulfillment centers without using any plastic materials in packaging. So if that talks are already on, if we get a fruitful reply, I will definitely look forward to get our product listed on Amazon.
Right. So we will wait for some time for more questions. In the meantime, you can also talk about some recognitions that you have received, awards.
Yeah, so we've received certain awards. Of course, thank you for this. This were all People Choice Awards, and this is certain camera moments wherein Suresh Prabhuji, the then railway minister, was visited our stall in certain of the event. As I discussed about an organization which is Kaneri Matha or Siddhagiri Gurukul Foundation, we as an organization were invited to present organic practices or organic farming initiatives which we are carrying out at that trust and discuss the same with the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. This was sometime back in 2018. And Vandana Shivaji, she is a leading environment activist. She personally visited the store, and we are fortunate enough to have her as a regular customer to our stores as well. And these are certain media articles which you can find on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have one more. So there are more questions now. So the next question is from Farooq. He's first thanking you for an informative session. He's asking, I could see few products are not available for certain cities like Gurgaon. Are any reasons behind it? So he must be checking online.
No, so when it comes to certain products, we have a particular way in which every store, product range for every store is decided. Majority of the products are available all across. If there is any specific products you are looking for and it's not available, you can always write to us and we could make sure that products are available even in your locations. So that there is no specific reason as to it's not being available. We can make that available if there is a need for that particular product.
All right. Yeah. The next question is from Deepika. She's asking, do you also have arrangements and help customers for recycling waste generated from your shop? Like if one purchases products from your outlet which has plastic, can that be dropped back?
Good question. So first, we make sure that no plastic is sold from our shop first thing.
Yeah.
But then I'll give you an example of a product like paneer. So we have doing some trial runs for paneer in some of our shops in Pune. And that paneer, if you sell it loose or without any packaging for that matter, that paneer will get spoiled or its taste will deteriorate over a period. Like even in an hour or so, it starts to deteriorate. So there is no other option but to get that entire bunch of paneer in a plastic bag. And then that plastic, we have put up a note even at the store. You can see that we are happy to take back these plastic bags for recycling. So this is something which we are already doing, and we also intend to do, because recycling is one of the 5 R's of zero waste. In the pandemic situation, we request all our consumers that the packaging material or any sort of bottle or paper which is returned back to us is all sanitized or hygienically cleaned. So for the safety of our staff members and the consumers. So that's how it is that we at the source.
And Sujoy is asking, how do we attend your discussion for today, which you spoke of? I think it is on your Facebook also, Facebook page.
Yeah. So that I think will be posted on the page, right? Your page as well as our page. Yes.
No, the session that you're talking about in the evening.
Okay, in the evening we have we have already put up in the Instagram handle. So our Instagram handle is Adrish Zerowaste. So you can visit our Instagram page for more details about the session today.
Right.
Yeah.
So as we have no more questions now, I think this was the last question that we had. So thank you, Akshay, once again for taking time out to be here. And it was a pleasure talking to you. And for the audience,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch with you.
Surely. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity, Soma, along with all the partners associated today. It was pleasure speaking at the event, and it always is fantastic creating awareness about things you're doing. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, participants. It was indeed a pleasurable experience speaking.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And for the for audience, if you want to embrace a sustainable lifestyle and stay healthy, Adrish is your ideal go-to store. So head to the store today, or you may also opt for their home delivery. And let's move towards an organic, plastic-free, and zero-waste lifestyle. I would like to end the session with this short video. In the meantime, please fill in the polls before you leave. It helps us improve our session. Have a great day ahead and see you next Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Akshay.
Thank you.